we have on the injury front, anybody who's been ruled out for the games coming up in this week 3, and just anything else that may have come up in the news. Let's jump into it real fast here because we actually have a lot of stuff to cover. First up, we've got Michael Cohen of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel expects Packers to lighten Ty Montgomery's workload going forward. Currently, he's getting more touches than anyone else in the NFL, or more snaps than anyone else in the NFL. He's playing over 90% of snaps, which is a little heavy. I expect to see a little bit more Jamal Williams and maybe a splash of Aaron Jones in here to try to reduce his workload. He's still going to be safe, though. I've got him locked and loaded as a top 6 running back this week in a pretty easy matchup against Cincinnati, and I expect he'll continue to perform very, very well over the next couple weeks. He looks like he's going to be one of the safest players you can get at running back right now. Continuing with the Packers, Jordy Nelson does expect to play in Sunday's game against the Bengals. He was practicing today and Wednesday. That's usually a good sign, so the quad looks to not be bothering him very much. I came out with an initial ranking on him that's pretty conservative, but if he continues practicing today and into Thursday and Friday, I will be bumping him up my ranking, so keep an eye on that. I will also be bumping Adams down slightly if Jordy is full go, because Adams gets less targets when Jordy's on the field, it seems. Continuing with the Packers, Randall Cobb was held out of Wednesday's practice for a chest-related issue when it was his shoulder that was originally bothering him after the game on Sunday. So I'm not sure how this injury is related or what's going on exactly, but we are keeping an eye on this. If Cobb doesn't go, that'd be really too bad because I'd have him locked and loaded as a low-end wide receiver too. But we'll keep a closer eye on this and let you know what happens as we hear more. Onto the Jets. Todd Bowles says it's too early to tell if Austin Seferian-Jenkins will be active this week. With the injuries to other tight ends on the team, I expect he will go. But upon hearing this news, I had him bumped as possible streamer against the Dolphins because the Dolphins are terrible against tight ends. They look atrocious. So I thought he might be kind of an interesting play. But with him unlikely to play or unlikely on a snap count if he goes, I'm going to bump him down my rankings or may even remove him from my tight end rankings completely. Now you can see Dan playing with the dog behind me, so that's great background. Corey Davis has been ruled out for week 3 with his hamstring injury. He's going to try to make a return week 4. I expect Eric Decker to be bumped up my ranking slightly with that news, in addition to Rashard Matthews, and I do like Delaney Walker a lot, which I'll get to in my start 6 segment that I'll record next. DeMarco Murray did not practice Wednesday. I'm almost hoping he stays out, gets the hamstring right, because then Henry's a locked and loaded start against a Seattle rush defense that doesn't look very good. We saw Carlos Hyde run all over them last week, but we're still waiting to get some more information on that, so we'll keep you posted on that, but it's not looking great for Murray right now. He's probably about a coin flip chance at best. Vontae Davis for the Colts remains limited at Wednesday's practice. If he does not go, I do like Rashard Higgins as a possible play. I think he might be talented enough to give it a go, but I'm not 100% sold yet. If Vontae Davis does play, I don't want to start any receivers for the Browns. Continuing on to back to Seattle again. First stop with Seattle here. Jimmy Graham is not practicing Wednesday. He's dealing with an ankle and a knee, so he's got multiple injuries on top of just 2 terrible performances right now. I would do everything in your power to try to find a replacement for Jimmy Graham. Jack Doyle, Kobe Fleener are both options that are available on waiver wires that are better, and some people may have ditched Hunter Henry after week 1. If he's still available there now, I would also grab him and start him over Jimmy Graham. On to the Redskins with more tight end news. Jay Gruden says Jordan Reed is not healthy right now, dealing with chest and toe injuries. If he starts, you probably don't have better options. I've got him as a mid tight end 1 in my rankings this week, but I don't like it. It's tough to be a Jordan Reed owner. I'm sad I have 1 share of him. And if you have him out there, you're probably just gritting your teeth and playing him and really hoping he scores a touchdown for you because he is still their best red zone threat. And this Washington offense has to get itself going. It's really bad right now. It's not as bad as some of the other terrible offenses we've covered like Cincinnati or Seattle, but it's not good. On to a player I had a lot of hopes for this week. In Carolina, Kelvin Benjamin with ribs and knee issues did not practice Wednesday. It's supposedly precautionary, so he should be okay. If he goes, he's a top 15 play for me this week against a terrible New Orleans secondary. So get better, Kelvin. I just don't want Devin Funchess as the only pass catcher. So get better, Kelvin. On to my own team, Vikings. Sam Bradford knee was practicing Wednesday. It looks like he is going to go this week, so Diggs shoots back up, Thielen shoots back up, Rudolph becomes a must start for most teams at tight end. and Dalvin Cook bumps up as well. So this is very good news if he can go. If he can't, once again, downgrade everyone. I would probably say Cooks and Diggs are the only two I would really want to start if Bradford can't go. Diggs almost had a really good day still with Keenum at quarterback. He just couldn't quite make it happen between penalties and just barely missing some amazing sideline grabs. If a couple things go different for him there, he ends up with a pretty solid day anyway. So Diggs is still safe even if Keenum goes, in my opinion. Tyler Eifert is not practicing Wednesday. This is after 2 complete duds. The Cincinnati offense looks terrible. Tyler Eifert is borderline droppable right now. If you have better options on the waiver wire at tight end, grab it, ditch Tyler Eifert, let him be somebody else's fucking problem. He's been terrible this year. He can't stay healthy. We were down on him into the draft. We had him kind of in the back end 10s, early teens, and we haven't had him ranked higher than I think a consensus 15 any week yet this year, and he's not even ranked for me this week. I'm done with him. Move on. If you can find anything better or make a trade him in another piece for a better tight end, I would do it in a heartbeat. Danny Amendola, concussion and knee issues, was limited at Wednesday's practice. He is likely back week 3, which is great. He was amazing out of the slot. If he goes, it does bump down Chris Hogan, or as Hopper would like to say, Hollywood Hogan. But I do actually like Danny Amendola better. If he can go, he is going to bump up my rankings. He snuck in as my last wide receiver rank just so I had him in there. But if he's confirmed that he is playing, I'm going to bump him up quite a bit. I like what he can do against this Houston defense. Isaiah Crowell says he talked to Hugh Jackson about getting more carries. Please? I don't want Kaiser throwing the ball 35, 40 times a game. You need to start investing in your running game. Get Crowell more carries. Get Duke Johnson more carries. Even bring in Matt Days and give him some carries. Run the football. Crowell should have some upside this week against a bad Colts team. Their run defense is improved over last year, but Cleveland should have the ball enough to get Crowell fed enough and may have enough opportunities to score to get Crowell in the end zone this week, so I do like him as a mid-running back too. It is not the start we were hoping for Crowell. Thankfully, my shot bet for him was against DeMarco Murray, who has also struggled, so yay. Moving on to ESPN Giants reporter Jordan Renan says, this might be the week New York features Orleans Darkwa over Paul Perkins. I did not rank Paul Perkins this week. I did rank Orleans Darkwa. If Orleans Darkwa's on your waiver wire and you own Paul Perkins, either make room for Darkwa on your team or straight up drop Paul Perkins for him. Perkins has 26 yards rushing through 2 games as the starter. He's done. We dropped him right before the draft started. I hope you don't own any shares of him. If you do, make other plans. He's not worth anything. Darkwa has actually flashed a little bit. He's averaging a little over 5 yards a carry in limited work. I don't expect him to be great. I don't expect him to be a season saver, but he's better than Perkins. Get rid of Perkins. That's all I've got for today. Dan is back tomorrow with Thursday. He's going to do your watch list players in addition to another New Shots episode. Hopper is back Friday with more news and DFS, and I'm back Saturday with your last batch of news before the Sunday games. In addition to that, I'm going to go over the entire injury report and do all in and outs for you guys, so it's usually a pretty short news segment that day. Sunday, really, really bright and early. It's going to be about 7:30 a.m. Not looking forward to it, but of course there's a London game this week, Ravens-Jags. So if Hopper and I will be up at about 7:30 in the morning to do start-sit injury reports, inactives, actives for you guys before that game, and then we'll be answering Twitter questions all morning before the noon kickoff. So check us out then. Thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Follow the show page on Twitter at BeerfueledFF. I am at Nick Sparts, and Dan Thury is at ThuryBFF with 2 Fs, as he'd like to say, and Christopher Hopper is at HopBFF with 2 Ps. Thank you so much for watching as always, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye.